We're back. Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is round 2, trying to make this work. Had a couple technical difficulties. Behind the scenes, during the scenes, after the scenes, all of the scenes. So we are going to try this again. It's Rachel. Hey, I'm a local Frederick, Montgomery, Carroll, Howard County realtor, and I'm so elated to have John Moseman with Well Water Solutions on the show. Thank you for
everybody.
coming. So we're
Thanks
going to
for
try
having me.
this. Of course, you're welcome. We're going to try this again. So let me know. I'm going to try and watch live too for the comments, because we do want to answer questions that even people that may be all over have questions about water, right? Because obviously there's not just wells in Maryland. So it will be good to pick his brain if you are tuning in from outside of Maryland. So I will be watching the comments as we get to the water portion of the show so I can relay those to him. In the meantime, let's go ahead and quick talk about the stats for Frederick County, Howard County, Montgomery, and Carroll, because that is the territory that I cover and that is what I would like to talk about. So let's jump on. And I know we just talked about this for those of you that had tuned in before, so my apologies. Just bear with me. I am definitely not going to be quitting my day job anytime soon. Yeah, trust me. That's not happening. Yeah, poor Craig. And Craig is phenomenal, I must say. Big shout out to Craig for dealing with me and coaching me from the sides, because I can be a handful from time to time. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at our stats. So, Frederick County, we have an active 710, and that has gone up from the last time that we talked about Frederick County stats. So we are slowly getting more inventory. The problem is with that is that it's rapidly going under contract. As you can see, 181 versus 162 from the last time that we talked about this. And pending 685 versus 651. So things are hitting the market and then quickly going under contract. I have been in situations where multiple offers from my buyers, we're going in at list price, we're going in as is, we're going over list price. We're not taking seller subsidy, and it's consistently happening where there's just, it's like a feeding frenzy. There's no inventory. The rates are ultra low right now thanks to the lovely coronavirus. And so everybody's trying to get it done. Everybody's trying to buy a house and take advantage of those low rates. In turn, there's also not a lot of inventory. So if you are thinking about selling, guys, reach out. I'd be happy to give you some comps on what's going on. If you just have questions, you know where to find me, and I will also provide my contact information in the link and everything else. Okay, I'm checking to make sure our audio sounds good. Guys, thank you again for your constructive feedback. I'm not going to say criticism, because again, I'm new at this. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff going on here. I just want to give information to my local area and even beyond. So I really do appreciate your help in giving me some input and some ideas nicely. If you have something that you really want to say to me, feel free to message me privately. But any type of info on my audio, on my picture, on information I'm talking about, I want to have good content for everybody. So I would love if you could help me out in that aspect. I would really, really appreciate it. In the meantime, let me jump back so we can do Howard County, and we're going to do Carroll and my good old Montgomery. Howard County is active at 462. Active under contract is 97. Our pending is 533 versus 430 from the last time we checked in. Then I decided to do good old Howard County with our solds. I wanted to compare it from 2019 versus 2020. And we had 6 more.
6 more. Went up.
You see that? Come on, Howard County, get it together. Montgomery County, I don't even think I'm going to talk about you anymore, Montgomery County. Seriously, you always knock it out of the park. 1318's active. Active under contract's 551. Pending is 1,135. Wow. Obviously, there's more houses down there, but still, they just like to, they're the big dog. And then we got Carroll, our sweet old Carroll. They're still hanging in there. Active at 391, active under contract at 90, and our pending at 318. And that is it. That's it for my stats. Also, real quick, before we jump into water, I wanted to say, hey guys, also like, comment, share as you give me some helpful, constructive feedback. I would love if you could just engage with me and share, comment, like, tag, chase, whatever it is you need to do to engage so that I'm making sure this content is valuable and getting out there to the right people. Also want to give you some quick insight from my local viewers. We have the Frederick County webpage, Frederick.com, which has a plethora of information of small businesses, especially my favorite being restaurants, health and wellness, jewelers, landscapers as we come into the spring season. There is a realtor tab, which, you know, we're not going to go there. Restaurants, roofing, siding, and gutters. There's all kinds of services that are here. So take advantage of it. Check it out. Also, Frederick County Facebook page. That is a wealth of information as well. There's actually some really cool content that's on here that's super, super valuable. I love it. So anyways, whenever you get a chance, follow these pages. Follow me, and let's just go ahead at this point, and I think we're going to just jump into some well water questions, guys. We do have a word of the week, but we can get to that later. I just want to talk about water. So, John! Yay!
Delighted to be here. Thanks for having me.
We made it!
So far, so good.
So far, so good. I'm going to check the comments.
I'll try not to screw it up.
Okay.
So.
Everybody, so far, it sounds like you guys are hearing us, but here we go. All right, with that said, I do have some questions that I pulled up. You obviously serve the territories that I serve, which are going to be Howard, Carroll, Frederick, and beyond. Do you do all of Maryland?
We stop pretty much at Myersville. We will do Hagerstown for some of the agents that we work with in Frederick.
Maybe.
So so if you have one, we will do that. We'll go far as Charles, PG County, and Calvert County.
Okay.
We have done St. Mary's, but that's a long way down there.
Wait, do you do Montgomery?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
Even though I think Montgomery's been, well,
So we do. There's a ton of wells in Montgomery County, Germantown, Gaithersburg.
Now that I'm starting to
all of that,
process
West
what I just
Hinesville,
Yeah, there is.
all of that. There's a lot.
Yeah. Damascus.
You got it.
My home.
You got it.
All right. So when I am under contract with the property, right, and it happens to have a well, the first thing I'm going to do is do my regular general inspections, and then I'm also going to add that addenda that covers the well and septic.
Correct.
Now, I say, okay, guys, do the general test, right? Let's do, I'll call you, call whom, and we say, hey, we want to do the regular test or what a lender would require. What does that typically entail? What's tested?
Typically from a lender's package is what we call ours. Is the two bacterias, nitrates, sand, turbidity, and pH. That's our basic package.
I actually didn't put that in my notes, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Turbidity is actually the clarity of the water.
Okay.
It is a non-health issue, meaning that it is non-health concern, but it's the milkiness of the well water. Sometimes when you pour a glass of well water, it looks like milk initially, and then it dissipates.
Like foggy?
Foggy, and then dissipates.
Okay.
And that's a measure that the labs use to measure turbidity. If turbidity is very high, then it fails, and usually a filter needs to be added or something. But as I tell lenders when I get a call, your turbidity failed, I'm saying, well, it's a non-health issue.
So pipe down, Piper. However,
it can be a source of that. That's the basic package. The two bacterias, the nitrates, sand, turbidity, and pH.
Okay.
That's the 6 things that we usually test for.
So six things are typically the normal package, to say.
If they need lead, and I always say,
because I was getting to that,
we don't have lead in our well water in Maryland. Lead comes in most cases from the older homes that have the copper pipes.
Yep.
And they used the lead solder. And then the lead solder eats away the well water, being a little hard, eats away at it and elevates the lead.
Is that a timing thing? Would you see that in, I know you said older homes, but does that happen with copper pipes?
It can. We have seen it also in fixtures. I saw a new house that they needed to test for lead recently. Beautiful granite kitchen, and they had a new faucet and had an elevated lead. And we were like, there's no lead in the well water, blah, blah, blah. Traced it to the actual faucet.
Fixture.
The fixture itself had lead solder inside.
Huh,
interesting. It was made in China. So,
I was going to say it, but I didn't want to say it.
I said it.
It's on him, guys. You can pick him apart. But with that said, all right, so when you are testing for those, usually we have a contingency time frame. What is the turnaround time for, first of all, the normal package? Even if you were to test for lead, what's the turnaround time on this?
Normally the labs are running about 3 to 4 days.
Okay, which is safe. I usually put 10 days for
normally it's 3 to 4 days. Where we run into trouble is, oops, forgot to schedule you, and then we need it back by tomorrow. Labs can do 1 day, 2 day turnaround. There's just money attached to it. Because if you think about it, they're getting all their samples in, they label them, they put them in, they do what they need to do, and now you're telling them, oh, move mine to the front of the line, and the labs charge us a fee.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's understandable. It's like a rush order.
We also get calls from the mortgage folks.
I'm checking to see.
And the mortgage folks tell us,
We don't hate you, girl. Yeah. My buddy over here, I love him. He's so sweet. Yeah. He's so supportive over here. Let's start off with another F-bomb. Look, I claimed the F-bomb, okay? And I apologize. And I didn't know we were live, so I'm so sorry.
I'll try not to use it.
Right? I know. I've learned my lesson, trust me. So I see that there's a quality test. Is that something that, when we say quality test...
I would think if you said to me the quality test... That would be the basic bacteria, nitrates, the lender package.
That's all packaged in. So
that would be the lender
test.
Package.
Yield test. What's the yield test?
Yield test is a test that you run the well for approximately 3 hours.
That's right. Okay.
That's a long test.
And so we're seeing the gallons per minute? Okay.
And you're studying that. In Baltimore County, they require you, when you sell a property, to do a 3 to 6 hour test on the well. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's the only county that requires it.
Baltimore has its own little game.
Yeah, only one that requires it. So, and what I would do is also hire one of my contractors to do it because I don't have time to sit there 3 to 6 hours.
It's a long time.
When somebody asks me in Frederick County to do a yield test, I will offer them what we call our well inspection.
Okay.
Where we run the well for an hour and a half to 2 hours, checking the equipment, following up on it, look at it, things like that. If they really are set on a 3 hour test, we can do a 3 hour test.
Then you do it.
But I would say that a yield test measures the production of the well.
Which, now, my question would be then, and this might be, I do have a little blonde left in here. Is that done at the well head, or can you do that at the...
You would do it at the pressure tank. You would do it inside at the pressure tank.
Okay.
You would never, on an inspection that we would do, open the well up.
Okay, good to know. And that's not something, a yield test that you would do
Absolutely.
at the faucet either.
You can do it at a outside faucet. You want to try to do it at the pressure tank because that's measuring the direct flow of the well.
Makes
sense.
That's what you want to try to do.
Yeah.
All right, so we hit the quality test, we hit the yield test, we hit the testing turnaround time. I want to talk about, because we actually had a conversation a little while ago on behalf of my clients who are fabulous, and really it was new to me too. So I will claim that as well, the ignorance and not knowing about radon in water. Definitely aware in our territory of radon in air, right? And having a remediation system for the gases that come up from the basement. That will be another topic on another show. However, was not 1,000% aware and well versed to it in water and how that all comes into play. Now, what I did learn was just a gamut of information from John. I did learn that radon can exist in water, and the way that it would affect you would be the same probably repercussions as it would as a gas being inhaled, right? So the lung issues and things of that nature. However, it comes out of the water not being doused in water, so to say, necessarily, but by the steam.
You could be ingesting it in both ways.
Really?
5 years ago in the real estate market, and I'm aging myself, I've been in this business for about 18 years, nobody talked about radon in water.
No.
It was a non-existent, nobody cared. You tested for radon in air.
Yeah, I mean, even,
you put your little canister when you did your home inspection and you did it.
And even like radon is still, I don't want to say it's a new thing because obviously if there's like Montgomery County requires it and all that other stuff, but I don't think it was as talked about, even when I started 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago. So now it's like we're all getting acclimated to testing for this radon in our basins, in our air, and we all want a radon remediation system. But now it's the next wave of, okay, guys, this is coming up as a gas.
It's an internet phenomenon, I tell people. Yeah. And now people educate themselves. We will do testing for radon.
Okay.
It's very easy to do. You take it. Some Maryland labs don't test for radon. They punt it. So the short version is on radon is the EPA has guidelines for everything. Nitrates, bacteria, copper, magnesium in the well water. About 5 years ago, the EPA punted and said, well, that's up to the individual states and labs what to do.
I remember having that conversation with
Right.
you.
And so the labs have come up with a passable number for your well water. So they leave it up to the individual homeowner to do it.
To say yay or nay.
Yay or nay to do it.
Yeah,
And
which can be, I mean, that's kind of a little terrifying, really, because
it is.
you don't know when you're going off of the research again based off of the internet and then obviously off your counsel from your professional, like your realtor or you. And I love that you're such a wealth of information.
Thank you.
But at
We
least
try to help.
I mean, but really you are.
Outline both sides.
So it's just kind of like, all right, well, what do you do? What decision do you make? So with that said, how often do you see people that want to remediate radon in the water?
It depends on the level. If the level is under 3,000, then we say at the labs, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
That's the lab director, so 3,000 isn't good. Some labs will do 4,000, but we usually pretty much say if it's under 3,000, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
And again, that's picoliters per liter per drop of water. So
yeah,
it's
I
all,
had to
all the
verse myself and
scientific things
educate
that
myself on that. It's
don't.
not just
So-
about unlocking doors anymore, folks.
Right. If it's from this number, say 3,000 to 8,000, we recommend at least a carbon filter,
Okay.
a carbon tank,
So
things
there's
like that.
different ways to rectify
If
it.
it's
There's
really
different levels.
over or elevated, I hesitate to use the word high, but over elevated, then you want to put a aeration bubbler system in.
Now, what's the most badass system that you can put on a well?
Aeration bubbler,
And what does that cost?
about 10 to 12,000. That's very, very, very expensive.
At what point would you say, let's just dig a new well?
Well,
Or how far is that public water?
Well, I've had people that were really high in Silver Spring, and they were at 18,000, and he just went and drilled another well on his property. He said, "I'm gonna drill another well."
Wow. 18,000?
18,000
For radon?
radon.
Is radon and
Radon and
Radium.
radium totally different.
okay.
Both of them are totally different.
Okay.
Radium, if it's elevated, can be fixed with a basic softener. That's just a softener that you put the salt tanks in, all the ions flow through it, and it cleans it, and your water's
And
clean.
one and done.
Yep.
And then we kind of jumping around a little bit because I'm thinking about ways to rectify water issues. Lead. The most common thing that I see come back is going to be bacteria
Yep.
or lead. Bacteria, we typically
Chlorination.
shock the well, right?
It's called shocking the well.
What do you suggest? Can a homeowner do that, or do you suggest a professional?
I would suggest us. Here's what's happened is, and we'll guide somebody. If somebody says to me, well, I'm handy, I'll do it myself.
And I've had clients that have done that.
And what happens
Bleach.
is they dump a gallon or two of bleach down and say, I bleached my well. Well, if your well is, say, 300 feet, Rachel, then what happens is it's like spitting in the ocean. You're putting 1 gallon down and there's 300 gallons in there. So I've guided people to say, okay, you want to do it yourself? That's fine. Get 2 bags of pool shock, dump one in, and 3 or 4 gallons of bleach.
The pool
to do
shock,
it.
I've heard about that too. But that's
the bleach-
so you know.
The bleach that we use is 80% bleach pellets. It will eat away everything. Matter of fact, when
Can I use that in my kids' toilets?
Exactly. Yeah. And it will eat everything away. Pool shock is 35%.
Okay.
Regular household bleach you get at Giant or Safeway is 10%. It has that bleachy smell.
I love it.
But it's not effective. So what I tell people is if you want to do it yourself, put 5 or 6 gallons of the bleach down.
Okay.
If you want to do it, and then you got to
that's
flush
not-
it out, and that's no guarantee that it's going to fix it.
Exactly, which I will say, and I appreciate the honesty of that info.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of an escrow in a real estate transaction, you want to do it right, because guess what, guys? They're going to ask for professional contractor receipts pretty much on any type of repair or rectification that comes across through an
Our
inspection.
success rate is over 95%.
Yeah. And then
so
if it-
I cannot guarantee it that it's going to pass, but our success rate's over 95%.
Well, I mean, but
So-
they're going to test again, right?
Right.
So
We do a full
you wanna
water test at
it
the
and
end.
make sure that everything
Right.
was
We wanna do a full water
remediated.
test at the end.
And let's say you do it yourself, Harry Homeowner does it himself, which is
He
fine,
still has
right?
to pay for the lab
Then
charge.
you have to still retest. So you might as well just alleviate the hassle and the frustration of it.
Correct.
And I have seen it where it's come back and failed even recently. I was representing the buyer, and the seller had to shock their well, and they did do it themselves, which, that's fine. But it was 3 tests. We had to take 3 different tests in order for it to finally
Normally, if it
come
fails,
back to normal.
and then we'll do a second chlorination, If that fails again, then normally it's a negotiation to put a UV light in, to put an ultraviolet light in.
That was my next one.
Yeah.
So how often, so with the UV light, that's
will-
bacteria, does that do lead?
Does not do anything else. And a UV light is a simple process that it just goes through, and an ultraviolet light kills all the bacteria. That's all
That's
it does.
it, not
doesn't
lead.
act as a filter, doesn't act as lead, anything like that.
To rectify lead, what would you do? Would that
Acid
be a
neutralizer.
acid neutralizer?
You can do an RO system at the
Reverse
sink,
okay.
reverse osmosis at the kitchen sink.
Okay.
That will eliminate lead, but it doesn't solve it
The issue
the issue of why it was elevated
Okay.
and the whole thing. So that doesn't. So when I get calls from buyers agents or clients, I'll say you want to service it at the point of service where it enters the house.
Yep, or the origination of the issue.
Exactly.
Makes
That's where you
sense.
want to have it at that point versus the kitchen sink.
Yeah, because technically, I think right now it's just one potable source of water that needs.
The state
to
of
be
Maryland
fixed,
says you
yeah.
got to have one for it. So
Yeah.
if you had high nitrates, so much land was farmland. Talking
True.
about that, nitrates are elevated. So you get the nitrates that are elevated, and
I've
people
had that too.
people can put a kitchen RO system in versus the whole house nitrate reduction.
Is there one system that just does it all? Takes care of the bacteria, the lead, the nitrates,
I would
the
say
radon. Is there anything
a
that
whole
just
house RO system
get it done?
would probably do it, but it runs
Okay.
about $25,000.
And that's
That's a whole house RO system. You're getting bottled water in your toilets, is what I tell clients.
okay. So
Do you
it's-
really want that? But, well, you said your boys, so I'll leave that up to you with your boys. So
Well, actually, speaking of, because let's talk about my water. I'm Mount Airy, right?
Okay.
Which a majority of Mount Airy is still well water. However, we're downtown, so we have public water, which, so different opinions. But I do believe that Mount Airy's well source, I'm sure I'll get some type of feedback on that. Our water source is a bunch of wells. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of
Wells
wells.
tied
It's
to
like
that,
11
and
or 12 that are,
and the
then
water
it's
tower, and then
processed.
it's processed. A lot of towns have that.
Okay, so that's
A
normal.
lot of towns have that.
Do you suggest that someone in my situation on public water, but still coming from wells, get some type of
I would say no. It's up to you if you want treatment. They
my
have
hair
to buy.
turns?
They have. Then you may want to have it. In the city, they have to pass the city health department, and they have to do a whole gamut, not just like the regular lender package.
Okay.
They got to do a whole page of stuff to do that on a quarterly basis to make sure their well
So
water
that
is
does
done.
make me feel, and I think that, like, for example, our town is very proactive and they publish those results.
They publish them every
Yeah.
2-3 years,
Yeah, so
and
that's
here's
nice
everything we tested for, everything from E. coli down to.
That's right, we didn't even talk about E. coli.
You got it.
So what are all the main things? What's the worst? Tell me the majority of what you see wrong with water when it comes back, or what comes back as failing, and then what's the
60%,
craziest thing?
60% of wells have bacteria now.
Okay.
So if 60% of wells, well water has bacteria, that's chlorinations, fixing, or ultraviolet light on
Okay.
those situations. That's pretty much the biggest thing that we get.
Majority.
Lead fails. Lead can also fail vacant homes.
Because it's been
The
stagnant.
water's been stagnant and not being used for 2 months, 3 months while they moved out.
Yep.
Nobody's flushed it.
Banco.
You come in on first draw and somebody didn't flush it or run the water through for a while, you could have elevated
That's
lead.
why they say to prep to run the water
Exactly.
no matter
That's
what.
why they-
though,
that's why
because
they say
you do
that.
want to get an
'Cause
actual
lead is
sample.
first draw. Lead is the first draw. When we come in, we're supposed to right away. You want lead? Boom, take it right from the faucet.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
there.
Interesting.
So if they don't have that.
Very interesting. Okay. Craziest thing you've seen?
I'd say the craziest thing we're dealing with now is somebody is thinking that their well water has mold in it. Now, different, but it's got mold on the walls, not that. That she's claiming that the well water is making her sick because it has mold in it.
How?
But we can't test for that.
Yeah.
We can test for bacterias, nitrates.
Where would the mold be derived from?
But
Because
if you think about it, it could have mold in it because there's a gap in the cylinder in the well.
And there's
could be
around
moisture
the-
inside the casing that could be causing it. But we
yeah.
did a visual inspection of the casing and we're like, it's clean.
Now, is that something you could just
you could
be
probably
could
shock,
you shock
it. Yeah, we could probably shock it.
Great.
And
Now
pour
everybody's going to want to start testing for mold now.
No, but I don't. Again, that's one of the craziest ones. I'm sorry.
No, I
not
asked.
the panic. No, not the panic.
No, I asked.
Not the
come on,
panic.
guys. There's mold spores when you walk
Yeah.
outside. My door's open right now. I'm getting mold.
Exactly.
And I'm getting radon.
Exactly.
And a plethora of all other kinds of stuff that's happening. So, it makes sense. All right, now I really am excited, and I've kind of saved the best for last. The best topic for last. Is my audio still good, guys? By the way, if you're still watching, let me know. Well Water Solutions offers a well warranty.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We're pretty much the
Tell me
only
about
company that offers a full warranty on the well.
Okay.
So anybody can get it. It's not a real estate transaction, although that's a main market for me, as you know. But it's anybody that lives on a well can get a full warranty. We do an initial inspection to make sure the well meets state standards, is above 1 gallon per minute.
Okay.
The casing's not broken, the equipment's good.
How long is this warranty?
Is an annual warranty.
Okay, so
it's a 1-year
like
warranty.
typical home warranties.
Very similar, typical home warranty. It covers the well pump, the line coming into the house, up to the blue tank as people have.
Yeah,
or
the blue tank, the pressure tank, right? Yeah.
The pressure tank. Some people have a blue tank, some people have a red tank, some people have a
I've
green.
seen them green, I've seen them gray.
Yep, but it covers up
Pink,
the blue tank.
can we get pink?
If you want the blue tank covered, we can cover it.
Okay, but
An
it's
additional
it's
charge.
An add,
It's an add-on. If you also have the computer that runs the well, the constant pressure systems, we'll
I've
cover
seen that
that
as
as
well.
well. Computer on the wall, the black box, we'll cover that as well.
Do you offer anything for well filtration systems coverage?
No, we do not cover your softener, neutralizer, radon system, as we talked about earlier. We don't cover any of that.
Okay,
We
okay.
don't cover it. But we're the point of contact. So if something's leaking, they say, my well's leaking. Okay, well then we do the quiz. What's leaking where? Well, it's my water treatment at the head is leaking.
Okay.
Then we'll turn around and say, okay, we don't cover that, but we'll get you some help through one of our folks.
Which is good. And I do love that you have all different types of resources and contacts for pretty much anything, including septic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a good septic. Got a good septic company we work with.
Okay,
Absolutely.
it's burning in me. Have you ever heard of someone running over their wellhead with their lawnmower?
I get about 3 calls a summer.
Are you serious?
I do.
That many?
Yeah, I get about 3 calls a summer. This past summer, I got 3. I got 2 in July and 1 in August. And what happens is the casing is 6 inches, 8 inches above.
What?
It should be 1.5 feet, but
I've seen them where they're,
3 feet. And the mower guy, grass high, zooms right over it.
Does it like start?
No, what it does is if it's steel, it ruins the heck out of the lawnmower. Blades and everything, bends them all, breaks it out, and does all of that. And then you have to dig down, fix the casing, and bring it back up. I also had a lady last year in Sykesville.
Okay.
Mother-in-law. She
Throwing her on the bus?
Yep. She ran over the well in her truck, got caught on the bumper, pulled the well cap out, the pump snapped, wires everywhere, and drove away.
Because you know what, that's
She
true.
drove away and got it caught.
But the water and the wires, because there's some electrical components that are happening right in there, and you get them neck and neck next to each other, and that's a no-bueno.
And she snapped it and snapped, and the well fell down to the bottom of the well and snapped the line.
So how did you fix that?
We had to fish out the bottom. You have to actually fish out the bottom with this big hook and get the pump out.
It's like, is it really
It's-
like
it's
a well like back in the day?
Not
with
like
a little
the
well
back in
house,
the day.
but then obviously
the wells
there's...
mostly in Frederick County and this surrounding area, Mount Airy, are 6-inch casing.
Okay.
And that's a 6-inch borehole that the driller has drilled all the way down.
How deep typically?
Typically, nowadays, they're 320 feet average.
Okay.
They're based on
That's
the
a
age
lot
of the
of feet.
house. Based on the average of the house now, if you really count as a judge, in the 70s, they were about 175 feet,
Okay,
maybe
so
125.
Taking it down a notch.
And then we're going deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
I have wells that are 600 feet.
Is it just because that's where the water
couldn't
source
find-
is, and it just pertains to each property?
I don't have knowledge of where to drill. The driller does. And the drillers in the area are mom and pop shops that have been doing it for years. One of the favorite ones is down in Mount Airy. And he's 85 years old, still working. His son is 60.
I love
and
it.
mom still answers the phone.
I love it.
They're great.
I absolutely
They're great
love
phones.
it.
They're
And
great phones.
that's like the knowledge.
Yeah. And,
you know,
and
know
you
what
would
you're
not
doing.
take a
The
driller
service is good.
if you needed a well drilled on a piece of farmland in Frederick. You would take a local guy not bring a guy from Baltimore County
It makes sense.
because he has local knowledge.
Yeah.
And the county then tells you where you have to drill the well. So you pull your permits, drill
I'm
the well,
familiar with that,
and then they tell you where to drill.
How interesting, though, that it's changed that much. And obviously,
The
as
fee,
knowledge and technology
Exactly.
advances, there's going to be some differences. I'm not getting any major questions right now. I don't think. I'm kind of trying to go through here.
But the warranty, talking about the warranty,
Yes.
we offer that to anybody out there. So they can go to our website and send an inquiry in if they want, and do that.
What does it
So
typically cost?
it's $389 a year,
Oh.
and then we do an initial inspection for the well to
okay.
do that, and we always discount that for folks. And that includes also an annual water quality test.
Interesting.
So when somebody renews their warranty, we come back out and do their year 2 water inspection and well inspection.
How long? I mean, can people continue that just for forever? There's
Forever.
no like limit.
There's no limit.
And does it get to the point where it's like, hey, I
Yep.
think we're still live. I just don't have an image. Does it get to the point
It
where
is.
it's like, okay, it's time to get a new wellhead? What's the oldest well that you've seen? Sorry, I'm coming up with all these questions. I'm excited.
You know, I just did a farm yesterday, and it was up in not Durwood. It was in other side of Finksburg, way up there. Manchester area, and it was more Tawnytown, that side up there past Westminster.
They're all
And
brothers and
the
sisters.
farm was 1823.
Yes, one of my heartstrings.
You know, all of that, and the person's buying it. And what we looked at, the well was put in 1954.
Okay.
And so it was a drilled well with a steel casing, with everything, but it had a concrete base around it. And then she had said the old well was a hand dug well. And
I've seen those.
That's the fish pond. That was where the fish pond was, so we enjoyed it.
That's so cool.
The hand dug wells are still around. They are in Howard.
I've
They're
seen
in
them.
Frederick County.
And cisterns.
I will not put my warranty on a hand dug well.
Obviously.
Okay. But I have called the county. I called Frederick County and said, I'm not giving you the address, but I'm doing a well inspection here. It's a hand dug well. And the guy said, did it pass? I said, produce 3 gallons a minute for an hour and a half. And he said, well, we're not going to come look for it. But
because the county is going to make them
drill a new one.
Really?
It's beyond code.
And they're going to pay for it too, right?
Right.
Frederick County's going to pay for it, right?
No.
Huh.
No. So what I told the buyer was, here's the situation, and I put it in writing. Your well is a hand dug well. It passed the inspection.
Okay.
If you do an add-on the house, you add an extension, anything
You're
to
gonna
pull a
have to-
permit, the county is going to make you drill a new well.
Brace yourself for that.
So if not, and the young buyer bought the house anyway.
Well, I'm sure because it's a beautiful 1800s farmhouse. I would
Yeah.
be doing that too if I was a young buyer and didn't have 5 kids.
Exactly. So one other thing on the warranty side.
Yes.
We're offering now also a seller's warranty. Now, I know you talked about your stats that, you know, no inventory and things like that. But if we have inventory, one of the things that the agents asked us to come up with was a seller's warranty.
I love this. Thank you, agents.
Where
See, we are good sometimes.
you are. Where we offer, if you're selling your home, we come in, do the well inspection, do the water quality test, turn around, offer the warranty. It's fully transferable to the buyer for the remainder of the contract.
Okay.
And then if after 3 months, the lender says, yeah, I need another water test. This one was 90 days ago.
Yeah,
We
because
do
that
that
could
free. We do that free.
So really, it's being extra proactive.
Being very proactive.
And alleviating because that can be I hate this like term, but that can be a deal killer if the water comes back and for us we see it every day, right? Oh, put on a reverse osmosis. Oh, we'll shock the well. There's solutions to every problem, but we see those problems every day. However, when you're buying a house, you haven't done it in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, and you're coming, especially I've got a lot of people from Montgomery County or down counties that are coming up. Like wells, you know, and
you
it's like
drink this
I
water?
wish I had a well,
Yeah.
you know. Then it's like okay.
The seller package
it's okay.
is very successful over the last month because I just rolled it out in February, and agents are telling me it's helping them market the home.
Okay, I need some listings with wells now, guys. Come on.
So if you get some listings with wells, we can add the warranty on, and you're being proactive. You're talking about 60% of wells have that bacteria, Rachel. So we'll fix it for the seller first up front at
and
discounts.
then it's not
and
coming
then it's
back
not,
in
and
the
then
middle of the deal.
you've-
Thank you for
it's
bringing me back.
Right. And
killing
you've got the
the deal
paperwork to
killer.
say, I have a warranty, and I also have the water's tested, and it's all good.
Yeah.
So
and then we're
folks
done.
love it.
Craig is so sweet. He's like my biggest supporter. I love you, Craig. Thank you.
Hi, Craig.
Thanks, Craig, for dealing with me. So with that said, I had another question that I was going to ask you, and then I got all excited and I forgot about what it was.
One of the other things we also offer is solutions, as you said, to all water problems. So if you've got the lead problem, if you've got the lead problem, if you've got high nitrates, we can offer solutions.
That was what my question was, because you're staying on track.
Yeah.
There's always a solution to a problem, right?
Yep.
But
there's a cost associated to that solution.
there you go.
Yeah, there is a
So,
cost.
and then of course, if you're in the middle of a real estate transaction, I always say to both my sellers and my buyers that everything in real estate is negotiable. So
Yes.
that's something to keep in mind too. All right. I think that's it. I don't see any other questions that's going on here. I think we're still alive and we're still good. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I'm
for
so
having
excited.
me. This is great.
And so people can reach you. Guys, I'm going to jump back to the screen so you can see exactly his website. So this is it right here, wellwatersolutions.net. It's a beautiful, very accessible website. I absolutely love it. Here's the phone number. Here's the email. Here's the social media pages. There you go. All kinds of information on my buddy John here. And then all of the services. Here's the well warranty, the inspections, and everything else. Additional services too. Yeah, here you go. Testing, sediment filters, water softeners, acid neutralizers. So I need more caffeine. Reverse osmosis systems. Iron. We didn't talk about iron.
Iron. Yes.
So how common is that?
In certain areas of Frederick County, I do a lot of iron testing over by Fort Detrick or further out west, like Myersville and things like that. The shale rock is a little bit different, and you go through it when you're drilling, and it creates iron.
How do you fix that?
You can put a softener in to do it. An RO fixes everything, as we talked about. You can put
an RO.
You can do it. You
Reverse
can do all that.
osmosis and call it a day.
And you know, you're talking about city water. I know people that call us for city water to put an RO in. I have one.
Because I complain about.
But iron is definitely fixable. Iron's easy fixable.
Is there anything that's unfixable?
No. Everything has a cost and a price. We don't have too many gasoline spills that impact the wells and things like that, like Baltimore County had about 20 years ago.
And how do you fix that?
You put all these big carbon tanks in and things like that to eliminate it.
Yeah.
And then you got to maintain them. Then you got to maintain them every year and service them. So there's a cost associated with that.
Or we could just find another house.
Yeah.
Or we could just sell that house.
Or sell that house and move on.
Yeah. Well, then there's issues with that too.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on and
Thank
dealing with my technical difficulties. Thank you, viewers, as you bear with me as I try and work out some kinks. Again, I won't quit my day job anytime soon. I am a professional realtor. I am working on controlling all of these systems and screens and audio and everything else. So just thank you so much. I would love to have any good feedback. If you have any content ideas, our next show is going to be a little bit different. We've got Kyle Sefcik. I always say his name wrong. He's awesome. He's produced a lot of my videos. He is really big in the community. He does a lot of really cool community stuff. So I'm excited to have him on. It's going to be a little bit different. So how do people find you? Let me go back to this website just so you can see. And if you wouldn't mind telling us your phone and your email.
Sure. Email is jemoseman@wellwatersolutions.net. That's how you can reach me. 410-935-7185.
Perfect. And then, guys, you can check me out on the Facebook page, YouTube. I will share an edited version of this on my page. Thank you, all of Craig's viewers, for watching me and being so helpful. It really does help a lot. And then, of course, you can text me, 301-956-3342. Find me at rachelsmithrealtor.com. And then, of course, send me an email at go@thesmithpartners.com. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you on the next show. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.